6 teams who could surprise us in the 2016-17 NBA season. Next season, the NBA will be full of high-level competition. Several teams have added great additions and overall great potential in their roster. I already made a video on the teams that can be contenders with the Warriors and Cavs, but this time, I will be discussing the teams I think can surprise us the most and possibly slip into the playoff ranking this season. Keep in mind, I'm not saying all of these teams will make the playoffs, but I think these are the few select teams that can shock the world. First, let me mention that although some of the teams, like the Knicks and Jazz, who didn't make the playoffs last year, added players to improve their team. The Jazz added Joe Johnson and Boris Diaw, and the Knicks added Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. But I don't believe they fall into this category because it wouldn't be that surprising if they made the playoffs. It seems more expected than surprising. I want to begin with the Orlando Magic. The Magic finished last season with a mediocre record at 35-47. During the offseason, they traded Victor Oladipo, Ersan Ilyasova, and the 11th pick in the draft, which is Domantas Sabonis, for Serge Ibaka. Although I think the Thunder got the better end of the deal, I still believe Orlando has plenty to work with, like Elfrid Payton, who is an unselfish point guard and a great defender. Nikola Vucevic, their star big man, who averaged 18 points per game and 9 rebounds per game, and Evan Fournier, who is an underrated shooting guard and averaged 15 points per game. They also acquired Bismack Biyombo. He was a major part in the Raptors' playoff success last year, who has high energy and effort every time he puts on a jersey. Also having solid pieces in Jeff Green and Aaron Gordon, led by their new veteran head coach Frank Vogel, they are equipped for a playoff berth. The Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks ended their season with a record of 33-49. They had a decent offseason, acquiring Jason Terry, Michael Beasley, and Matthew Dellavedova, and also drafting Thon Maker, a 7'1" athletic big man who showed flashes of potential in this year's Summer League. With their already established players and power forward Jabari Parker, point guard Michael Carter-Williams, and small forward Giannis Antetokounmpo, who averaged 17 points per game. He is one of the most versatile players in the league. At 6'11", he can play all 5 positions and is a triple-double waiting to happen. I can see Milwaukee charging their way into the playoffs. The Philadelphia 76ers. With the Sixers having the number 1 pick, Ben Simmons, you might think that's all they have to work with, but they have a lot more pieces than you might think. With the returning players like the athletic power forward Nerlens Noel, center Jahlil Okafor, who averaged 17 points per game and 7 rebounds per game, and Joel Embiid, who was the 3rd pick in the 2014 draft, but hasn't played a single game due to injury, but they expect him to finally get the ball rolling next year and show why they picked him 3rd overall. And with the pickups like veteran shooting guard Gerald Henderson and the NBA comeback point guard Sergio Rodriguez, who is shining in recent years in Europe, and small forward Dario Saric, who has been showing great potential playing internationally. I can see the Sixers and their nucleus of young players play with high-paced tempo and versatility, especially with the do-it-all player Ben Simmons running the offense. They will have a completely different season than they did last year, possibly even squeezing into the playoffs. The Sacramento Kings. The last time the Kings were in the playoffs was in 2006, which means they had 10 whole years of insignificance. But I think this could be the year they finally turn things around. Head coach George Karl was fired last season due to bad chemistry with his players, but with the hiring of former Grizzlies head coach Dave Joerger, I think the Kings are headed in the right direction. This offseason, they acquired Matt Barnes, Aaron Aflalo, and point guard Ty Lawson. And with the superstar center DeMarcus Cousins, who desperately wants to experience the playoffs, he will give it all he's got to deliver a winning season in Sacramento once again. Kings fans hope this can finally be the year they get things together and emerge into the playoffs. The Los Angeles Lakers. They are one of the most storied franchises in NBA history. They are accustomed to winning, but in the past few years, they have found themselves stuck in mediocrity. With the retirement of Lakers legend Kobe Bryant, they are looking to fight their way back to the top, and their roster seems to be shaping up very nicely with the solid additions of veteran small forward Luol Deng, reliable center Timothy Mozgov, and the 2nd overall pick, Brandon Ingram. They will fit in well with their already young core, which include Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, and D'Angelo Russell. Their team is full of undeniable talent, and with the new head coach Luke Walton, they will conquer over their recent struggles, ultimately ending in a turnaround season Lakers fans are craving. Last but not least, the Minnesota Timberwolves. The T-Wolves have been building their roster to hopefully compete with any franchise. So far, it's looking to be a success. Last time Minnesota tasted the playoffs was all the way back when Kevin Garnett had his MVP season in 2004. The Timberwolves have stars in the making, which include Andrew Wiggins, a for sure future All-Star, Karl Anthony Towns, a player destined to dominate the center position, an athletic freak in Zach LaVine, who can run the point at 6'5", Chris Dunn, who was their 5th pick in the draft, a point guard who is teeming with impressive raw ability, and will most likely be mentored by the proven veteran floor leader, Ricky Rubio. This Minnesota squad will be shepherded by the newly head coach, Tom Thibodeau, who is hard as nails and will preach hard work and discipline to his players, leading them to a thrilling season. Now get ready to be surprised this season, because all of the teams I just mentioned are looking to make a statement. Now, who are the teams you think could surprise us this year? Make sure to comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.